Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Shaun Pianta. I'm atWork Australia's DES Ambassador. We're here today to recognise and celebrate the International Day of People with Disability. Back in 1992, the 3rd of December was first marked as International Day of People with Disability, with the aim to promote public awareness, understanding and acceptance of people with disabilities. The theme this year is Not All Disabilities Are Visible. This is something I can relate to. For the past 12 years, I've been living with an invisible disability. I bet you're all probably looking now trying to guess what that is. Well, when I was 19 years old, I contracted an unknown virus while on holidays in Bali, and I lost 90% of my eyesight. I had to overcome many challenges over the years, learning how to do things differently. But one of the biggest challenges I face is my disability is invisible. No one would ever know that I have a disability. And this made it very awkward and sometimes hard in a social situation where I walk into a room and I can't even see who's there. And also in the office, when people start talking to you, I have no idea who I'm talking to. So one of the things I implemented was I've asked my colleagues to introduce themselves first. It can be quite awkward at the end of the conversation if someone says, "Oh, give me a call later," and that's the point when you have to say, "Actually, who am I talking to?" But today, I've also invited along Penny Evans, atWork Australia's National Employer Engagement Manager, to discuss invisible disabilities a little bit more. Welcome, Penny. How are you going today?
I'm good, Shaun. Thank you. Thank you for that great opening.
So, Penny, I've just explained a little bit about my invisible disability. Can you give us a few more examples?
Yeah, sure. Invisible disability is something that is not immediately apparent, and it's also known as a hidden disability. So to put it simply, invisible disability is physical, mental, neurological condition that is, not visible. We work closely with clients that have health conditions like epilepsy, diabetes, or anxiety. These types of disabilities are deemed hidden and can lead to a range of misunderstandings and false perceptions and judgment. For example, we had an employer from the care and support industry who had hesitations due to the client having a health condition. Once the condition was disclosed, which was actually a migraine, the employer had changed the outlook to the client's work capacity. We work closely with our clients to disclose to be able to ensure the workplace is accessible and inclusive. And then with employers to support them with embedding an inclusive workplace, accessing workplace adjustments, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally relate to the misunderstanding and false judgments. I've had people come up to me when I'm sitting on a train and ask, "Oh, why don't you wear glasses if you have to look at your phone so closely?" and things like that. I've even had people come up and accuse me of staring at them. I just wish I could see their face when I say, "Oh, sorry, mate, I'm actually legally blind. I didn't realise I was staring."
Mhm.
Penny, do you have any idea of how many people in Australia are living with an invisible disability?
Yes, 1 in 5 Australians live with a disability, and 1 in 5 are currently living with a mental health condition, which means that 20% of our workforce are potentially living with an invisible disability. The figure is likely to increase as a result of the uncertainty and anxiety during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's clear that businesses need to fully understand and their employees and support them more than ever right now. Considering other invisible disabilities, there would be people with invisible disability, more people with an invisible disability.
Well, 20% or 1 in 5, that's actually quite a high number. I guess that's why it's so important that, we don't judge or comment on a person's actions or something they're doing, because you never really know what challenges or barriers a person is dealing with. Penny, can you tell me, is a person living with a disability obligated to disclose their disability to an employer?
No, there are no legal obligations for individuals to disclose a disability to an employer unless they have an immediate need for reasonable accommodation during an interview, application process, or maybe whilst it's on the job. atWork Australia is encouraging potential employees with an invisible disability to disclose during the application. By disclosing it can make sure employers can make any workplace adjustments, flexibilities to ensure that the workplace is accessible and inclusive for all.
Yeah, I think I can definitely say in my situation, disclosing my disability has made my life a lot easier. I know, just as I mentioned before, how my colleagues now say their names when they come up before they're starting a conversation. It just makes my life easier, and it sort of helps to avoid some awkward situations. But yeah, it's definitely worked well for me. Can you tell us a bit more about how atWork Australia supports our clients with invisible disabilities, and how we help our employer partners to access the full talent pool?
Yeah, sure. Um, in terms of employers, atWork Australia is one of the largest in the country. We're a provider of disability employment service. We get to know the business. We partner, and together we map out workforce planning and recruitment needs. And atWork can then determine the current and future recruitment needs, or identify any gaps, address any shortages to create an informed and inclusive strategic recruitment strategy. So a great example we have is obviously with Australia Post. They've included atWork into their accessibility and inclusion plan, scheduled to be released in December 2020. The National Diversity Inclusion Partner of Australia Post quoted that the partnership works because atWork have taken their time to understand the recruitment process and exactly what the job involves. This means that the clients know what to expect and can be assured that they will have the support for them. And this is because we take the time to know the business and understand the needs. For our clients, we provide practical, holistical support to help them find and sustain a good job, working with the right employer, but also provide them with post-placement support to ensure that they transition into their role and keep their job. atWork Australia can support both employee and employer to access workplace modifications too.
Thanks, Penny. I just want to say again how important that post-placement support is. I know a lot of our clients come to us and they might have been out of work for many years, and it can be quite daunting going back into the workplace. So we don't want to feel like we've just placed our client into work and we'll set and forget. We'll continue to support them for up to 12 to 18 months with post-placement support, or for as long as they need. Penny, one last question for you today. Why is it important to create awareness around disability?
Thanks, Shaun. Look, really good one. Raising awareness of invisible disability is important. So acknowledging the presence and validity of invisible disability is a key component of the awareness effort. Australian businesses can access a full talent pool with benefits to productivity and retention, and importantly, make a difference to people's lives. One of the ways that atWork Australia continues to drive awareness is via our free disability awareness training, which focuses on understanding and inclusion for people living with a disability in Australia. Our disability awareness training, it empowers employers to build more diverse teams and confidently support their employees living with a disability. We have just delivered a session in the last week with over 25 employers with some great feedback. Our next session is scheduled for the 3rd of February, so we would love to see you there.
Yeah, I think the more we can keep talking about the subject and providing more education for employers, I think we're just going to see more and more employment opportunities for our clients and for people living with disabilities. Penny, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciated chatting with you and really enjoyed it as well. And if people would like to find more about how we can support our clients living with invisible disabilities, or how we can help our employer partners to access the full talent pool, please reach out to your local atWork Australia contact, or you can find us on our website at atworkaustralia.com.au. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Shaun.
Bye, Penny.
Bye.